You're watching Ask Udayan, the show where we answer your questions on stocks. With me, our very own Udayan Mukherjee, who will be answering all your questions. The Indian stock markets are on an all-time high, creating history every single day. Also, the retail participation in Indian stock market is rising. So at such a time, the need for more quality information on stocks and investment strategies couldn't be more crucial. And that's exactly what we would do every Wednesday here with Udayan on the show. So keep sending in your questions to us on the number that's on your screen, and we will keep answering a select few on TV and online every Wednesday. Let's begin with our viewer queries now. Our first question today is from Shivangi Sinha, who is from Pune. Listen in to her query.
My question to you is, I am holding 200 shares of State Bank of India at an average price of Rs 369. Can you please advise whether I should book profit or hold? Thank you.
Hi, I think State Bank of India, which I have not been a big fan of over the years, is slowly turning a corner, and you can see that reflected in the stock price now. But generally, I'm not a big fan of public sector banking names, but I think post-COVID things are slowly on the mend, and if you have to own one public sector banking name, I think it would have to be State Bank of India. But not just because of the core business, where the asset quality problems are slowly beginning to disappear, and I think SBI is doing a very good job of that cleanup. Their provision coverage ratio is quite high, and their recoveries are beginning to grow quite significantly. So I think the balance sheet cleanup aspect of it is moving quite smoothly. But what I think sets SBI apart from other public sector banking names is the quality of their subsidiaries. I mean, if you look at SBI Home Finance, SBI Cards, SBI Life Insurance, and SBI Mutual Fund, these are such strong subsidiaries in asset management, insurance, cards, businesses, that I think, frankly, half of SBI's market value is derived from these subsidiaries. So I think if you put it all together, it makes for a nice basket of financial products that you can own through the SBI name. So I would say that if you are the kind of investor which likes to have 4 or 5 banking names in her portfolio, SBI could certainly find its place as one of those stocks. I won't buy any other public sector bank names, but SBI could stand aside some of the private sector names in one's portfolio. This is again not a recommendation to buy SBI, absolutely not, but it's an assessment of the fundamental strengths of the banking name.
All right, here's another interesting question. Santosh Kumar, who's from Noida, listen into his query.
I have 200 shares of Tata Consumers at an average price of 655 rupees. Should I book profit or hold it? Please suggest. Thank you.
I think Tata Consumer is a good company, and one should not be in a rush to book profits. I think this, while you are sitting on some profit of about 20-25%, I think the real money is made by investors who buy good businesses and hold over a period of time, rather than keep booking 20% profit, 25% profit every time. But Tata Consumer actually is waking up after a long time, because I think the group is focusing its energies on building a fairly significant FMCG player under that brand name. But because it has a very nice mix of businesses. Traditionally, it's been a beverage player, focusing mostly on tea and coffee. You know that the Starbucks brand is also under the umbrella of Tata Consumer. But increasingly of late, they're focusing on their other FMCG businesses, the foods part of it, through 2 brands. Tata Salt is well known, but Tata Sampann, which focuses on pulses and spices, is an umbrella under which Tatas seem to be having some aspirations on the food and on the food front. So I think if you look at it in combination, while margins in the tea business hopefully will start improving this year, and that's been a bit of a laggard, you will see the non-tea and coffee part of the business also growing quite significantly. It's not a cheap stock, trading at about 50p multiple, but I think with the kind of focus that the Tatas are giving it now, it may just be a stock to own for the longer term and not to be traded in the near term.
Ramesh Kumar from Hyderabad wants to know about Bajaj Finance. What exactly is his query? Listen in.
My doubt is regarding Bajaj Finance. Shall I hold it for long term or short term?
No, this is a long-term horse, my friend. I don't think you should be giving it up in a hurry. The stock has run up quite a bit, and I can understand why you phrased the question by saying your doubt. And I suspect a lot of people are doubtful about whether to hold on to Bajaj Finance after such a powerful rally that it's had over the last few months. But I think what the Bajaj Finance management is trying to put together is probably India's defining fintech company, because again, this is a very unique combination of businesses. It's not a bank, but look at what they have. I mean, they are present in the digital wallet space. They're one of the biggest players in the consumer loan space. They're very strong in insurance, and now they have an asset management license as well. And very soon, the way the management is speaking, I think they will put it all together into some kind of an app which will become probably one of the most defining fintech apps in the country. So how seamlessly Bajaj Finance makes a transition from the real world of lending to the digital world of lending, which it is already knee-deep in, I think will define whether the stock can hold on to these lofty valuations. It's never been a cheap stock. It still trades at more than 8 times price to book on FY23, 40 PE multiple, and you will probably never be able to buy Bajaj Finance cheap. However, it's a volatile stock, and periodically when markets correct, it gives you these violent corrections of up to 15-20%. And for long-term investors, those are the opportunities to pounce on Bajaj Finance. I think, to answer your question, this is a long-term portfolio stock, and while it gives you trading opportunities, I think the real money, as people have found out, is in the long term with a stock like Bajaj Finance.